Okay, be all right?
Here we go.
Okay.
Okay, well, we lost some of them. David Zapata is down
we
in the
up yet?
valley. Oh, yeah, Rosemary Edwards, thank you, ma'am, for being here. Dr. Rosemary Edwards, Travis County Republican Party Chair.
Hello.
And, of course, Marilyn Jackson, we've all known and loved for how long, and haven't seen you in a while, so it's good to see you again.
Thank you. It's good to be seen.
Savino's working the early voting. She'll be around later. But until then, we can ask all the questions we want right here.
Great.
So how are you, ma'am?
I'm doing great. How about
we're
you?
staying
Yeah.
pretty busy, I guess.
Very busy, very busy.
And we got the ballot book out.
Yes, we got it mailed this past weekend.
Awesome.
We mailed it to 50,000 unique addresses, which represented about 70,000 voters in Travis County. It's a 32-page booklet, and if you didn't get it mailed to your home address, you can actually go online and get a copy of it. But it has everything you need to know about voting, and early voting started today. So a lot of good information about new boundary lines, how to read your voter registration card, a sample ballot, a lot of things on the ballot. So you can take time in your home, sit back, drink a cup of tea, go through all the pages, and then you can actually take it with you into the polling place, as long as you take it back out with you and you just don't leave it there.
Yes,
You can
ma'am.
mark your ballot up, and then it'll go a lot faster, because a lot of people are saying it's a very long ballot, of course,
Yes.
and you could be there 15, 20 minutes. But if that's the first time you've ever seen all the propositions, it'll probably take you longer to think about them. But if you think about them ahead of time, make out your little cheat sheet, go
Yes.
in there and vote, it really doesn't take that long.
So are the propositions in there as well?
Yes, they
That'll
are.
give us more information
We'll
about
be
them,
able to put them up here in a little bit, we hope, on the
which is
screen.
awesome. We need to know, every voter need to know about these propositions, because as you
18.
stated earlier, and I like what you said, if you would take it and begin to study it, mark your
ma'am.
book up, so that way when you get in there, you'll know who you can vote for. And so many times, I think, Dr. Edwards, is that people are in such a rush, they just go and just punch the button and turn it, and I'm finished. And so I
You need
voted
to think
today.
about it, right, you need to think about it and take your time.
Exactly. I got a sticker and it's over. But the fact is that we may not have made the best selection for what it
Exactly.
is that we, who it is that we need to vote for, because we may not have taken the time out to really delve into this and find out what is really going on. So I think this is so neat. I remember this ballot book being in it myself.
You
too,
were,
but
2 years ago.
It was awesome. It's awesome now that you have all the propositions in there. And I'm gonna
That's
do
page 12, yeah.
just what you said to do. I'm gonna take this myself and read over them. You can hear so many things on television about the different propositions that are coming up for us to vote on, but at the same time, we may not know all the in-depth portion of it. You know, of course, media is gonna show us
Their side, what, you know.
exactly what they want us to hear. Well, that sounds good. Well, why not? I think it's a great thing for Austin. I'm just saying what the media would say, what the media has said, but that's not always a good thing. My question always comes up is, who's going to pay for this?
That's right.
I mean, you have all these brilliant ideas, all these authors of these propositions, but I'm saying, where's the money coming from?
From your pocket and my pocket.
Exactly. So it may not
And
be
your
the best
pocket.
idea for
Yeah, they all
us.
sound up good, see, I like the way you put that. I mean, you look at it, who's against a hospital?
Sounds great. Who's going to
against
pay for it?
Medical school here. Which, that's my problem with my little ditty that I got from Roger. Vote yes, 1, 3, 5, and 8, all the rest eliminate. Well, that's on the county part. Because Proposition 1 on the central health tax ratification is a whole different thing. But the city part, vote yes on 1 and 3, 5 and 8, all the rest eliminate. Did I get that right? That
But
way,
it is
'cause there's so many-
confusing, because there are Proposition 1 that relates to the central health tax ratification.
On the
That
county
is
part.
the very first one, and I believe that everyone, no matter what area of Travis County you live in, you will get that central health tax
Okay.
ratification.
But it's just
And
the
they
city
call
on
that
the rest of
Proposition 1. And then if you live within the city of Austin, you have Proposition 1 through 18.
That's
And
amazing.
You're
so,
right,
so
some
there
of them
are
sound real
two
good.
Proposition 1s. But it's, if you just take your time and read it, it's not that confusing. But when you do hear Prop 1, yes, Prop 1, no. It's like, well, which one are you talking about? So you have to ask them for more detail.
Especially if you're like me and get confused somewhat easily.
Well, one of the things about the different propositions is the bond monies. It's like,
A lot of money.
okay, so I voted for this particular proposition. That was 20 years ago. What has taken so long for the changes to be made that I thought was going to be made to what I voted for, you know, which happened to be our recreation center in my old community growing up. I'm like,
Hadn't
20
been
years has
built
happened.
yet.
It has not even been redone.
Interesting.
It's shaky, you know.
Somebody needs to ask some questions about that,
but
don't they?
you're absolutely right. But you know, we never know, you know,
It
the life
sounded
and
good
death
and
of
we all
these.
voted
That's
for it.
right.
Exactly. And where did that money go?
Right. And why wasn't it spent immediately when we voted for it
Yes.
to actually get the thing built? Well, there are hundreds of thousands of dollars in these propositions, and I think that now people are beginning to ask more questions about where is the money going to be spent and where is it going to become, where is it going to be coming from? So I think just the kind of the general attitude of people is, I think it'll be pretty difficult for all these to pass.
I hope so.
We'll see.
We should be able to have them up on the screen here in just a minute, I think.
Well, there should be some accountability for sure.
Exactly.
I mean, we need to know, you know, where it is. I mean, our
Right.
city is not the richest city, you know.
We're pretty
physically,
indebted right now.
We are
Yes,
very
that's right.
indebted. I think it's a mini Washington D.C. actually, you know. But it's amazing.
And there's something else in the ballot book that I can point out too. The new districts. There have been a lot of changes in Travis County with our redistricting. We do that every 10 years when our census in 2010 showed the growth and where the growth is around the county. We have 5 congressional districts now in Travis County, and 17, 10, 25, 21, and 35. So there are a lot of a lot of different districts that people need to look at, and the way you can see it on the map here, we show the highways and kind of the major arteries, so you know generally where you live in Travis County, so you can kind of pinpoint where you are and who represents you. But we also look at the voter registration card.
Yes.
And this is what you use when you go in to vote. The current card is yellow, and we show across there are actually 2 lines that have boxes in them. The first one is the U.S. representative that shows the number, which is the district that corresponds with the congressional representative that you would have. So it will take a little bit for you to look at your card and then look at the maps that we provide, but even people who are paying really close attention to this through all of the lawsuits and all the iterations that we were going through during the legislative session, some maps were changed even at the last minute. It was almost a daily update. So this is what we're using for this election cycle. We don't know about the next one yet, but we're going to get through this one, and it's just really important for you to be able to figure out, okay, this is who my congressional representative is, this is who my state representative is, this is my state house representative, and you know, this is where you ran, and then our commissioner's court, and then our constable races.
Wow.
So just a lot of different changes, and just takes a while to kind of orient yourself to that.
That is for sure. That is amazing.
I'm thinking we're going to be able to see all this on the screen in just
Oh, okay.
real short, because I hear them playing with the telephone too.
Oh, okay, I could hear that.
Yeah, this looks real nice. Yeah, even on you can pull it up online and you can get that very page. A lot of people are lost with these new districts,
Yes.
They are. There's been a lot of changes.
especially the House. We have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
We
of
have
them in
6.
Travis County.
We have 6 house seats
1,
because
2, 3, 4.
all the different colors.
That is amazing.
You ran
So
in
it can be
51,
fused
didn't you?
I
together.
did.
Yeah. Now we just put these 2 because those are the Republicans in the ballot book, but there are 4 other ones. But that's a big portion of Travis County. 47 has been.
Oh, that's a
actually
ballot
expanded.
anyway. We're making progress.
Okay.
What do you expect is live TV? I mean, you got to see it when we have bands in here.
No.
But
You
anyway,
have to have a magnifying glass to read all that.
she'll expand
Actually,
it
there
in a
was
minute.
There
maybe she
was a
overspent it.
sample ballot in the newspaper today. I think it was on B4 in the Austin American Statesman, and you probably would have to have a magnifying glass to read that. I mean, it was very, very small font, but I think that's good because it really does generate some more interest when those things get in the paper.
The Travis County Elections Division is telling their election workers to expect 15 minutes per voter.
Right.
Oh.
I think that would be average, yeah.
Because there's so much on the ballot.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
this is really a long ballot.
Right.
And if you live in Austin, it's even longer. But even if you're out in the county, it's going to be quite long.
That's right.
Well, if we take our time and do our homework,
That's right.
Then we can
Back to
get in
the
and
original
get out.
point.
Get in and
yeah,
get out.
exactly.
we don't have to wait in line long.
That's
you
right.
know who we're going to vote for. And
So some of the water districts and municipal utility districts, of course, this is what is all over town. Like the village of Spicewood Canyon has a special election, and so
So they'll have
each
their
little
own.
entity. That's right.
Yeah, it's pretty small, but you can, tell her where to stop. I can't see it. She'll go back to the ballot book. That looked pretty good. Do you see that email on there? Oh,
is there other literature out that where people can take a look at to see who to vote for?
There are several voters' guides out. I know that Liberty Institute usually sends a voter guide out. They ask, and you've done this because you've been a candidate, they'll send you a survey and ask you about certain things, and then they will, they're not necessarily making endorsements, but they are showing how you answered the questions so that they could compare you with your opponent. And then, of course, not every candidate responds, so there may be no response, but at least it gives you kind of a comparison with issues. Now this was conducted by the Republican Party, so it has all the Republican candidates in it, but all those that are that have sent information to all of the candidates would have a little bit more of a balanced information in that. But we think that it's helpful too, especially with our what we call down ballot candidates, when you put their pictures in.
Yes.
Because sometimes if you're maybe a judge or one of the lower candidates, you really don't have enough money to send information out
if I could
across
real
the
quick,
county.
yeah, this is what the way you can get
helpful.
it on the internet. Maybe she'll put the website up, and
Oh,
you
there
can
it
pull
is.
it up. So if you didn't get one in the mail,
That's what it looks like, yeah.
this is the same book we're looking at here,
Uh-huh.
but on the internet version. There's Prop 1, right?
That's an advertisement for Proposition 3,
Proposition
the
3.
10-1 plan, right. That's a paid advertisement to tell people about that.
And that citizen district, that was really good.
Yes.
I saw so many people involved in that
Don't stop.
during the summertime.
All right, don't stop.
Because we needed more, we needed to get some of the things that's
Can
on
you
the ballot
expand
that
that,
they were helping push for, which I thought was really neat, especially the districting. I mean,
Right.
that is so neat. And yes, it is going to be on the ballot, which brings me to this question I want to ask you, Dr. Edwards. So, for instance, if on the November ballot, it is going to be on the ballot for November for us voters to determine whether or not we want to, how we want to do city
Proposition 1 on
council.
the city election.
How we want to do city council?
Right.
Okay, so whichever one that we choose, and it's decided that is what vote is going to be, the election is going to be held in November from now on. What will happen with the 2014 city races?
You mean for what they...
Will it be on
council.
May or November?
Will it be in May or
2014?
November?
Well, I haven't heard a final, and it may have been decided, but I just haven't followed it that closely. But the last that I recall, they were saying that there would actually have to be kind of an interim plan so that you transition, into what the new plan is. And that really hasn't been determined yet.
I see.
So there will have to be a transitional decisions made about how we go from basically,
It was supposed to be
The election's
May
being
of
changed.
2014.
right.
Right.
So will it be in the?
Would it be then November?
November
November
Yeah,
2014
right.
or
Exactly.
you know.
And then again, if the 10-1 plan goes into effect or the 8-2-1 plan, then you're going to have to draw there's going to be a lot of changes.
Yes.
A lot of changes. And so people really need to be paying attention, need to be
Exactly.
watching the show, because I know that you'll be having people who are on the front of this,
Yes,
knowing
ma'am.
what the choices are.
We
But
get
there's
Roger
still a lot
back
of
on down
questions.
here.
Yes, he'll be able to tell us all that. But I
He
think
was
for
real
right
sharp
now,
the
we
first
just need
time.
we just need to make sure that everybody does study the ballot, go
Yes.
prepared, so that maybe the average might be 15 minutes, but if you go prepared, it might be 10 minutes. You might be able to
Make
get
a
away.
cheat sheet like you're talking about.
Exactly.
get in there and
Right.
and make that
Do your
right
homework.
Do your homework. Do your homework.
That's right. And also, there's another thing for people, and we kind of forget sometimes, there are so many people who move into Austin from other states and other counties. They don't all use the same kind of voting machine that we use. And I remember back in 2004 when we started our, we call it eSlate. It's a very simple machine, but the first time you look at it, it's this tablet kind of thing. You have to turn this wheel, and as you turn the wheel,
That's amazing.
the text light, it's a blue color where it shows where you're actually reading, but it's a little confusing for people the first time.
Somebody said the magic word voting machines.
Yes.
Yeah,
Come in. Well, you can put it up on the screen.
I will admit.
Okay.
I am a proponent. I had issues with the voting machines.
Mm-hmm.
I've run into a lot of people who say, how difficult would it be to put a little thingy on there that spits out a paper ballot that we could put into an election box? So that not only do you have this little computer, you also have the paper ballot, because there's been coming up issues after elections with the count being off, so to speak. So there's been a group, I forget, I think it was what were the pink ladies? They had they were,
years ago.
Debbie, what was her name? Debbie.
That Debbie Russell.
Debbie, she's with the Civil Rights Union.
Okay.
She
ACLU people.
she had a document that supposedly went to the Secretary of State not to certify the voting machines unless this little paper ballot box
Paper
was
trail.
to it, so that you have not only your machines but the things. Do you have any suggestions on how we can make this a thing to go with?
Well, there have been a lot of questions about.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you.
Wait,
Okay.
If you do, you can just scroll down and scroll.
I have been.
Well, I think it might be interesting to get Dana DeBeauvoir, our county clerk, to
Get her
come in
back
and talk
on
about
again.
that. There are a number of interested citizens who would like to have the paper ballot,
Some
which is
kind of
basically,
accountability.
yes. So you've got an electronic
Yes.
tabulation, and then you have something that is a verification of that, that is something
Yes.
tangible.
Yes.
I just, sorry.
you.
I just- sorry.
Little
I'm,
one,
I'm, I'm sorry. I might have to blow my nose, but this allergy stuff. But the eSlate is
I always got some
I think
oxygen
it's
here if you need it.
in the I think it's in the some
carry it
oxygen.
around, you know.
Well, I think I might just need a tissue. But there is there will be a continual study of this. I know I've been in several meetings where there's actually a group that wants to go back to paper ballots.
Ah.
And I don't know, that would, I'm sorry,
you.
excuse me, that would take quite a while on election night.
think it would
We're so used to having things by, say, 10 o'clock.
Yes.
And, when all this information is coming in from all over the nation, it might be the next morning before you would get all the
Like it
results.
used to be.
That's right.
Yeah,
And
that's
then, like up in, was it Minnesota with the Al Franken thing where,
Yeah.
a box appears in somebody's trunk, several days later. I mean, the paper ballots are not necessarily a guarantee that it's going to be even better, but really it all comes down to well-trained and honest election workers and a system that is in place and monitored well,
Yes.
so that the election is fair and legal to everyone
Exactly.
who is qualified to vote. And so that's that's what we try to do, and I don't think that's a partisan issue at all. That when,
Maybe not for us.
well, but I think that at this point in time, there's not a paper trail to this, and I think that is a weakness in the system. And I've been a participant in a recount myself just in the recent past. Dan Neal lost to
Yeah, that's
Donna
right.
Howard by only 16 votes 2 years ago and requested a recount. And then in that process, basically you just go over and look again at what the computer tabulated. That's all you can do.
No one can tell except
Yeah,
somebody
we
might have-
reread it from each precinct. So what that came down to also is looking at the mail-in ballots and the military ballots and that kind of thing, which is in paper, you know. So that was where you could really see if there were any
Well, not to
problems.
dwell on this too much, I know you were telling us about this machine, but also, I know it's very good to be a poll watcher,
Right?
and you can, there's still time to,
Yes.
volunteer
We're-
at your party headquarters, I guess.
We're actually going to have a poll watcher training on Wednesday,
Okay.
day after tomorrow.
Oh.
And there will be 2 sessions, one at 3 o'clock and one at 6 o'clock. Totally free of charge. It's going to take about an hour, hour and a half for the training. No pre-registration, but you do have to bring your voter registration card, your yellow voter registration card, and then basically that just shows what precinct you're in and that you are a valid, you know, Travis County voter. And then we will, after the end of that training session, then make the assignments to where you would be poll watching, because poll watching really isn't for everyone. I mean, you kind of think, oh, well, that's pretty neat, I'll go and see what's going on, but it's kind of boring, really. I mean, you have to be willing to sit very still, and you don't usually, you know, say
I did it
anything.
once, I lasted about
Yeah.
2 hours.
It was too, you couldn't sit
I
still.
don't know, I can't hardly sit around too long anyway, that's why, when
Yeah.
I worked the substation.
Uh-huh.
They
Right.
told me all I had to do was observe, be the judge there. Of course, I don't know what it's. I don't quite know how I can judge things because all you see is the seal's not broken, and if you make
Looks
sure
like
the
it hadn't been
card gets
tampered
handled,
with.
but you don't
Yeah.
know what's on that card.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that there has been all this time where the machine will have 100 votes on it, but the paper will only have 98 signatures. But it's usually something small, minor. It's not like it's anything real big. So I just sign an affidavit, and usually they can pick it up down the line. It'll be somebody just simply forgot to sign or something like that. It's never been anything more than that. But at poll watching, it seems like we had a whole bunch of change of addresses come through, which kind of worried me, but it was all done legal-like. So I don't know, what is it that you can look for in poll watching?
Well, if there was any situation that was going on within the polling vicinity, it was looking like someone was affecting someone else's vote, someone assisting someone else voting, that you know, assisting someone in working the machine is one thing, but telling someone how to vote is something entirely different. So that's what a judge or an assistant judge would be doing. Would be, this is how you turn the wheel. This is, if you have trouble reading, you can actually put the earphones on in Spanish or English. Excuse me. You can get it, you know, read to you as you're going down the list. It will read all the names. So there are a lot of ways to be assisted, but someone to come in and say, okay, you need to vote for this one. That's not right.
That's not good.
Well, it's still good to
And then
have
if someone
them.
was coming in and making you feel intimidated about going in to vote, that would need to be reported.
Well, I know they can only be so close to the entrance.
100 feet.
100 feet, is it?
Right, if you're electioneering or handing out any information. Or talking about a candidate. And once you come in within that 100 feet, you can't wear your Romney button, you can't have your Obama shirt on, you can't be wearing anything that has any party affiliation or candidate or anything that's on the ballot. Because you standing there, you know, especially now if we're having to wait to vote, you got a few minutes behind somebody and you've got your opinion on, you're wearing it,
Yes.
then you're electioneering. So
Yes,
I've heard, you know, many judges say, I've just, you know, and people sometimes just aren't aware of it. They're not thinking that they're doing anything wrong. So you approach a person and say, sir, you'll have to take your hat off or put it in your pocket, or or you need to go in the restroom and turn your shirt wrong side out and then come back in and vote. And usually, you know, people don't have a problem with that. They just say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I couldn't wear this in here. You can either, you know,
Usually.
rectify it or I'll have to ask you to leave.
Yes.
So,
There are those that are not so pleasant.
but you
about
approach it, you approach it as though, you know, they want to be cooperative.
Or I only had one incident like that. The guy had his Obama T-shirt on,
Uh-huh.
and evidently he was not the judge for the poll. You know, where I work, they bring in all the stuff.
Uh-huh.
These are the election workers. So I asked him, "Did you work? Did you get instructed on you're not supposed to wear that shirt while you're working?" And
He had worn it all day.
yeah,
Okay.
and nobody had said anything to him, and he got kind of rude about it. But I tell him, you can't, you know, pay attention next time.
Yeah,
It gets so crowded down there.
yeah.
And you have to move on because you know it gets stacked up. But anyway.
Are you
yeah.
going to be at the receiving station this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm always there. I thought it would be easy. They told me all you can do is observe.
It's work. I mean,
Yeah, it is. But I can keep my oxygen tank there close by, and it's only about 4 or 5 hours on a bad day.
Oh, bad day.
And I can usually hold up for that much. Well, these election.
well, good for you.
City
Well,
in
well
May.
come to the poll watcher training, you know, because they will just, even if you don't end up being a poll watcher,
It's still good to be there.
they do give you some good information. Just, I think, just to be an informed citizen
Yeah, I
and
think it
things
was
like
4
that.
years ago since I've been, so
Good.
probably
Good
wouldn't hurt.
refresher course.
There's
At
a bus
3
stop
o'clock or
not too
6.
far away.
Yeah. Good.
Well, I know you were talking about the machines
Yeah, let's
and
go
everything.
before we got.
I was wondering if you could just share with us a little bit, Dr. Edwards, about just the importance of really reading up and electing the right person for judge. I mean, I think we tend to
Judges are
really
very
forget
important.
about how important it is about the judges that we do elect.
Well, and you're absolutely right, Marilyn. The judges are the ones that really kind of the gatekeepers of the legislation that passes in the State House when they make something law, and then the implementation of the law happens, and then someone questions that, it can go to court, and then it lands up, you know, on the table with judges that if they are strictly looking at the Constitution, at the law, at the precedent has been set, if they see their role simply as I'm not going to change anything that this law was intended to do, even though I may have personal opinions about wanting a result in a certain way. When you have judges that are aligned with a strict interpretation of the law and really run on that principle, then I think it should give all of us confidence in them.
Yes.
Because, I mean, I've heard several of we have 3 gentlemen who are running for the 3rd Court of Appeals, and it's a very important court in Travis County.
We had 2 of them on the show.
And when they talk about, they may not personally like the outcome of the case, and it's not their place to make the outcome be what they want it to be. It's simply to read what is put before them and to strictly interpret the law.
Yes.
And while you might think that, well, but the Constitution is, you know, situations are different now, or, you know, the culture is changing and we need to change these based on the current times. I think the people who are conservative and are running strictly on the platform that they want to interpret what is law rather than, you know, they're not making the law, they're simply trying to make sure that it is fairly and carefully interpreted. The people who make the law are the legislators, and so I think really their purpose is to be fair across the board and not try to necessarily make an outcome that others would like. If they want to make a new law, go back to the legislature and make a new law.
You want to ask anything?
Exactly, exactly. Well, it's so important, you know, and we tend to just
Oh, yeah.
And they're so far down the ballot,
They
and
are?
sometimes you don't, and in fact, some of the people that are
I
actually
think
sitting
Rudy's
on the
gonna come in
Supreme
and ask
Court.
you a question here in just a
Oh,
minute.
sure, absolutely. Some of these, some people have never seen their faces before either.
Exactly.
Yeah, Rudy's
join
part of
us.
our great crew down here.
Ma'am,
For me?
first question is,
Sure.
what are you guys doing to stop voter fraud in Travis County? I went to vote today, as you can see, and all I gave was a light bill. That's it.
And you had your
Huh?
your address, your current
it.
address on your light bill,
Yeah.
and
It used to be that there's a binder that could compare signatures. You don't do that anymore, right?
interesting.
So they
Well-
didn't really know who, yeah, well,
No.
Well, your name was on the voter rolls,
Yeah.
and on the address it was on your light bill.
Uh-huh.
Now that the photo voter ID is hung up in the Department of Justice,
Doing
and
it?
the photo voter ID bill did pass, and it passed in the
That's my
last.
voter ID, my light bill.
That was your identification.
Yeah.
Currently, that is all they had to ask you for.
Okay, well, what are you doing to prevent fraud? Because if that's all you need, a lot of people are going to come up with bills and stuff.
sounds like you're a candidate for a poll watcher class.
Well, the problem with Republican poll watchers is they're not going to spend 13 hours all day volunteering services. Remember, you're the party of the rich, so Republicans
are.
are not going to do that. So that's question one. Question two is, man, do you know what this is?
That's your Obama phone, ain't it?
Obama phone. There are 16 million of these, and the word on the street is, if you don't vote for Obama,
You won't.
Romney's gonna cut these phones off.
That's what I've
You
heard.
aware of that?
Mhm.
Not only that, but to qualify for this phone, all you need is to be eligible for food stamps. You talking about 47 million
No.
potential Obama phone getters. You guys prepared for that?
So, who you suggesting we vote for?
Well, I voted straight ticket Republican, but you got 15 million, 99. That's
We're gonna need a whole bunch of 'em.
phone on.
And if there was no voter ID bill,
Yeah,
we're in trouble, aren't we?
no.
Rudy?
I'm from Chicago, and
You know
I
all
how
about
we
that.
set elections. And it's real easy. In fact, there's a bounty on light bills and phone bills.
Is that right?
Everyone you bring in, $5.
Holy cow.
But that's a vote.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Rudy.
Thanks for enlightening us, Rudy.
Huh?
Thanks for enlightening us. I would like for you to
Also-
come to
also,
come to the poll watcher training though.
When I first came to Texas, I was unemployed, so I called the number for the Republican headquarters, and I said, I'm not working right now. I'd like to volunteer my time. And you know what the guy told me? Well, we don't need no help right now, but if you want a yard sign, it's $15. West yard sign is so. Now, I was so shocked at that. You know, for the Republican Party telling me they don't have time, they don't need me to volunteer, but they want to sell me a yard sign. And I didn't realize that even though I came too late to register, I was able to be a judge and a head judge at that. So I see that Texas politics is a whole lot different from Chicago. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Rudy. Yeah, hold on now. You was working with Ted Cruz when first, that's been a couple months now, huh? Anyway, yeah.
He gets
that's when
around.
He was working for Ted Cruz and he wanted to help. I said, you come down there and help us. So he's been down there ever since.
He used to be president of the East Austin Republicans too. He's been very involved.
Rudy has, yeah.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. He's a good guy.
That's good.
But it is concerning that that Obama might be buying the votes in a subtle way. You know, give you this, and then if you don't vote for me, you might lose what I've given you, kind of thing. But we'll see. You know, at some point, like you said, who's going to pay for this? Somebody's got to ask the question, you know, are you just take? Well,
Yes.
where's it coming from?
You got a point. So many people out there, they have no idea. They don't care.
Well, I think most of them, the recipients of those phones, probably have their own phone service too. I mean,
Just
it's-
kind of extra little something. Yeah.
I mean, but the fact is that it's so much that has to do with voting. I mean, it's so crazy the way candidates do the things that they do. My thing is that if you feel, I mean, that's intimidation to me. It's like if you feel that you have a chance that you may lose, you'll do whatever means is necessary to get that vote.
Yeah.
And that's not all good. I mean, you need to go back out there
Well, that's not our party.
and, and walk them streets again and let people get to know who you are and you know, not try and buy your way through it. I mean, it's amazing.
Politics is kind of dirty sometimes, isn't
Very
it?
dirty.
You know, you went through it.
Very
We went
dirty.
through it,
very
and like I
dirty.
always said, beer equals votes. Especially in the trailer park.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You know, so we talked about the judges and the importance of it is, you know, make sure we choose and select the right judges. Oh, and by the way, how long are these judges in office?
Well, I think they're actually 6-year terms, so it's
Well,
It's
the
a
district
long
judges?
time to be, to have the
Right
the
people
wrong
in place.
person in the wrong place. So that's a long time.
Well,
to
there's
have to
also
deal
those
with that.
little groups, especially in this county where it's all Democrat, because I guess Democrats are all the lawyers, but like the county attorney's office, we won't even go into district attorney and county attorney, but
we're making headway slowly but surely.
we don't have any lawyers.
So
Well-
what would you think of some of the hot seats that we need to really pay attention to?
Well, I don't know if you've had some of these candidates on your program or not, but we're very excited about Vic Vaught, who
Yeah, he's
is
been on.
running in
Yeah,
a countywide race.
That's a good race. I didn't get Thompson, is it, running against
Robert Thomas is running
Yeah.
against Donna Howard.
Donna
And in
Howard.
fact, they're going to have a debate on TV on Thursday night. I don't want to necessarily plug another TV program, but they're going to have a debate.
That's quite all right. We plug everybody down here, and it'll help.
But it's a YNN debate. I think it's at 7 o'clock. It'll be a live debate, and
That's cable channel 8.
I think so.
Yeah, why?
So he will be debating
Donna.
Donna Howard.
Okay.
And then I think they've already had a debate last week with Tony Dale and Mr. Stillwell. It's up in Williamson County.
I had Toby Miller on here too,
Okay.
and I wish I'd replayed his show a lot because he's had good race there. It's Constable
Right.
going against Bruce Helfont, I think.
Oh, wow.
Bruce Elfont is Vic Vaught.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the county tax assessor. Toby Miller
Yeah.
and Don Ballesteros.
Yeah.
There's actually 3 in that race.
We've had I had his Democrat opponents on before for the primary,
Uh-huh.
and he ran his little film called Cocaine Constable and all this kind of stuff. Which I don't know if that was good to. Well, that was 2 Democrats going at each other. But he wouldn't come on the show when I had Toby Miller on.
Well, they actually did have a debate up in Pflugerville last week or 2 weeks ago.
And he showed up.
He did, and
Very good.
it was a good debate. But there's a Libertarian in the race too, so that's a 3-way
Yeah.
race. But we have 2 constables that are Republicans that are running, and
Gerald Dougherty's a
and
good
Gerald
one.
Doherty. Oh yes,
We got to get him back
definitely.
in
Now Gerald
commissioner.
has served on the county commissioner's court before, and he's wanting to kind of reclaim the seat that he had previously. And so he is experienced. He really knows what needs to be done in that commissioner's court, and that would be 1 out of 4 that would be a Republican on the commissioner's court. I think we need at least 1,
At least.
I think so.
just to have another opinion about things, maybe. But then in the next election cycle, 2014, the judge will be up. Sam Bisco has said that he's not going to run again. Now he said that before, but I think he's serious about this time. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in
Oh, my
2014.
goodness.
Maybe we'll have someone. We will have someone to go against him, right?
Where's,
so.
where's Mike at now?
Mike who?
Michael, that ran against,
Michael Barre?
not Mike Barry, Mike that ran against.
Oh, Mike McNamara. Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
where
he
is
may throw his
at?
hat in the ring again. He's still around. Yeah.
That'd be pretty neat. Oh, let's talk a little bit, not to pull
Grant?
the gender card, but let's talk a little bit about the female candidates.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's do
Cannot
that.
forget that.
Yeah.
Well, I am very.
What is Dr. Donna doing?
Dr. Donna
She's done
is
in a
running
good
for
race.
Texas State Senate.
There's only a chunk of her place in Travis County. How big of a,
Well, I'm going to show you the map.
I believe I'm in her thing.
I think she has about 16 precincts.
Wow, that's amazing.
And the, in fact,
If I
I'll
could,
open
while
this
you're doing
one.
it, the class comes in, and one of the classes, of course, a
She
grant over
is
there.
she is in 25.
Mm-hmm.
So she has a few down here. She doesn't have a big area. I think it's something like 16 precincts. But it goes down to Bexar County.
Oh, that's
It's a
awesome.
pretty big area.
Mm-hmm.
But an interesting thing is that she has a lot of people on her team that have stayed with her since her
Oh, this is
campaign
awesome.
before.
She's a firebrand.
Yeah, so she's got a great team with her, and this the voting strength of Republicans is pretty strong in this district. So we're very confident that she'll win that one, and the other female that we have, very excited about her,
Yeah,
Susan Narvaez.
yeah.
She's running for U.S. Congress in the newly drawn District 35,
Okay.
which is the district that Lloyd Doggett is running in. And in Travis County, 35 has quite a bit of area. And she,
Here in Travis County. that's
right here in
what
Travis
it is.
County, yeah, we do. Now, it does go all the way down to Bexar County as well. But she had, just like Donna, has a fabulous team around her. She did a thing about 6 weeks ago, I guess it was for the end of the summer, called Caravan to Congress, and started down in, really, she lives down in San Marcos. Started down there.
She used to be
and
mayor.
she was in San Marcos, yes, for
Yeah,
3
that's
terms.
amazing.
And this just gives an example, I think, of how what a great team she has around her. She told people to show up at 8 o'clock in the morning, bring your truck, bring your van, bring your whatever's roadworthy to go down I-35, and we're going to decorate our vehicles, and we're going to call it Caravan to Congress. We're going to get in our caravan, and we're going to stop at every restaurant within about, 50 miles. They would get out, they'd go have coffee with people, and just
wow.
visit with them.
While they were working hard. She has.
Absolutely.
That is amazing.
She showed up
Absolutely.
at every event.
She
She was out there in
has.
Blackburn. She's been on this show. You can see her here at Trailer Park on YouTube. Just go to trailerparkshow.com and hit the link to YouTube page, and she's on there.
Well,
She's-
and not to
she's a great
mention, I mean, that is so awesome.
Every event she's at.
She
That
is.
is awesome.
And
That
her
is
team,
awesome.
too.
And her team too. Yeah.
Wow, she's in the game. I love it. I love it. I love it. That is awesome.
And so if Gavino were here too, I mean, he met her at
Where's
the LULAC
Gavino?
thing. I think he got stuck at the voting machine.
I did too. Yeah, he's working that early voting, which I know goes to 7.
Yeah, that's what happened.
He said he's going to try to be it, but
Yeah. And then we have a female railroad commissioner, Christy
I like her
Pettit.
too.
She's
Okay.
she's a good candidate.
I liked her daddy.
And she's a native of Midland. She's an attorney, and the 3 people that sit on the railroad commission, they actually do hear cases that are out of the routine. There's a big staff in the railroad commission. Of course, people know that has nothing to do with the railroad. It has everything to do with energy and oil exploration and sometimes they're kind of tricky cases of
Put that up, Mo.
questionable, who owns the rights to the minerals and that kind of thing.
Yes.
So to have an attorney on the Railroad Commission is a good thing,
Yes.
and she is an oil and gas attorney, so she's very well qualified for this. And then Barry Smitherman is also running. They're not running against each other.
Right.
So there are 3 places on Railroad Commission.
Well, and I
And-
could see that, with the cases that they would have to handle, because, I mean, I'm just thinking about the crude oil in Texas. I mean, it's amazing, all the drilling and
Oh, yeah.
everything that's going
And
forth.
A lot of things can be questionable about who owns what, who,
Yes.
A lot
and
of
with the
stuff will come
fracking.
across their
and-
desk that will
Yeah.
have an impact on the way we
Yes.
live.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, and we do have 3 female judges. One, Sharon Keller, is actually on the Court of Criminal
Hold that up,
Appeals,
Mo.
and
They don't hear
So-
me in there, do they? Hello? Hold that up on ballot vote.
anyways, we got some.
Lisa Akala.
Yeah, and she is, she's continued to serve. I think she got a gubernatorial appointment. Governor Perry appointed her to the criminal appeals, and now she's had to run now for her first time to stay on the court.
That is amazing.
And she's Barbara Hervey's been on there, I think, at least 2 other terms. She was elected 2000. So we have a nice balance. You know, we've got 3 females and 3 males, and we just think we've got very qualified candidates and a very motivated base. So I think 2012 is going to be another banner year for Republicans. I hope so. We're not taking anything for granted at all. Not at all.
Not at all.
That would be good to see Travis County turn more.
Yeah, more Republican. Well, you just take it one election cycle at a time.
Cycle at a time. Nothing happens overnight. Oh, there it is. Well, no, go all the way down past you got to go all the way past the district map and all that. Tim, thank you, sir. Oh, yeah, we go up at 5830, so we got 2 minutes.
While we've got just a few minutes left, where are some of the places where we can go and vote early? I mean, of course.
Yeah, I want to ask about that too.
I'll say wherever you see vote here, you know.
The sign waving, yeah, right.
You know, just go and vote there. But where are some of the places that, you know, we can vote early?
Well, in the ballot book, we made a decision about putting simply the mobile voting locations in here because some people are not aware that there are many opportunities that you have across the county. And this is maybe a little more confusing because every day it changes. So
There you go.
that's why we put the mobile voting locations. It's probably hard to read on the screen, but by looking at this, you might say, okay, well, I think I'm going to vote on Wednesday. Well, you kind of look and see which elementary school or the ACC South Austin campus, the Stephen F. Austin building. There just a multitude of choices here that are the mobile locations, and see they're actually open all day on some of these larger ones.
That is amazing. I mean,
And the courthouse
so
is
good.
like an all-day thing.
That closed at 9 or
At 6 p.m.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. I mean, it's really good. We have the flexibility, you know, to be able
And then
to
on
vote
our
early.
website, we put all the permanent early voting locations and the precinct day locations
Oh, okay.
at our website.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Well, if
So
there's
it's
fraud
not-
in this, then it'll make it just. I was never one for early voting stuff. I don't know. I guess I'm just old-fashioned or something. I'm not that old, but it used to be.
I don't know
You
if
know,
it
it was,
necessarily has to be 2 weeks myself. I don't know. It seems like an awful
Voting
lot.
day used to be
A big special day it was.
Special day. It was your community day.
And you might
It's-
stand in line, but you'd talk to your
you
neighbors.
went to your neighbors and
Yeah,
You
you'd
stand in a
visit.
long line.
Yeah.
sometimes it can be a long line.
Right.
Very
You
long
can't-
line.
you
Even when you
actually-
finally get in, they're still wrapped around. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Have you
How
really
did I
wanna
miss
vote?
Early voting. How did I miss it? You know, but yes, I really did want to do my part and vote. But I like the fact that
Now,
okay,
the
I get
last
an
2
opportunity
times
to
I've
vote
done
early.
early voting now, the last 2 times. And now with anywhere vote,
I like that. Let me be able
guess
to
so.
have my choice. I mean, it's
A lot of
convenience,
convenience.
and let me go and do it. But I
will there be anybody left to vote on election day?
yes,
Eventually.
tons of people. Trust me, not everybody vote early.
I'm a
They wait till the
diehard
last
now, and I'm
minute.
voting early.
They wait till the last minute.
Maybe so. I know there used to be some
About
excitement.
60% of Travis County voters vote early.
60%.
About 60%.
Compound that by a couple more cycles, and then what it'll be.
Yeah.
Just get rid of election day. Just
Yeah.
vote early until it's over, and
Well, I'm very concerned that on election day, all of our regular polling locations that are open just on that one day, each one of our precinct voting locations will function like an early voting site, which means you could vote anywhere on election day. It still functions like an early voting day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now that is
it's,
convenient, and we do have the technology, and it has been tested, so that if you vote one place and you run down the street and vote to another one, they'll know that you've already voted, so
That's a
that
good
would be
thing.
one vote. But just like Rudy pointed out,
Just
when,
get your
when,
4 or
when, I,
5?
when I testified against this, it was at the same time that we had the photo voter ID that was going through the legislature.
Yes.
I was
Right,
very
you were
optimistic
very
that that was
active
going to
on
go
that.
Very
through
optimistic
with our
about it.
supermajority of Republicans, and it did go through. But of course, it is hung up in the federal courts. So we don't have that stopgap measure to look at someone's
Grant.
card to see if that really is you.
And it's not right. If you can show your identification, we have to show it any and everywhere else we go. Why is it that you can't show that ID, shouldn't show that ID, shouldn't have to show that ID when you get ready to vote? I mean, that is just,
I don't
and
think
then
that's
just
right.
and just the race card, the poor card that was played with this. Everybody, you know, can't afford it. Can't afford what?
I wanted to give,
Anywhere else you go, you have to show your photo identification.
well, we got a few minutes here. I want to give Grant Rostigs, another one of our candidates, District 21. He was here with the class. I'd like him to be able to at least come on and say hello or give us your little 2-minute political speech.
Hey,
Because I
Grant.
know I didn't get you on the show while it was still early time.
Okay, well, where do you want me to stand?
The
Just sit down
microphone.
there for a minute and
Put your mic on.
5
It's right on
minutes.
that chair.
You see the mic right there? Might as well join us for the rest of this because I'm sorry I didn't get it got kind of hectic because everybody I'm sure knows, especially on the trailer park where scheduling became difficult. I know I meant to try and get you on.
Well, I'm really glad to have been stopping by today and see that you're here, and it's wonderful. Yeah, I'm running for Senate District 21. It's a large district. Actually, it's bigger than a U.S. congressional district, believe it or not. It runs from South Travis. We've got 140,000 citizens or people in that area, all the way down to Laredo, where there's 250,000.
Wow.
And in
Bigger.
between, there's a bunch of counties, including Caldwell County, where I live, and Lockhart.
That is amazing.
Huge,
That is a big district.
Yeah, it's huge, and I didn't know they were bigger than U.S. congressional districts.
How many counties does that?
18.
Whoa.
Well, yeah, usually I try to get as many people on as I can. You are like state senate, and it was big, and I'm mostly focused on, so
Well, here, you know, the issue, the two issues that I'm running on.
quickly, please, so we can get back to, not to be hurrying you,
is
but
school vouchers.
Mm-hmm.
School vouchers so that we can have innovation and different ways of educating our children, see what works, see what doesn't, and let the parents choose how they want to educate their children. The other one is something that the Texas Public Policy Forum has put out, that we could actually get rid of the property tax and just by increasing the sales tax or broadening the sales tax. So perhaps an 11% sales tax, and we could own our property rather than renting it from the government.
10-4. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate you stopping by to see us here. We did have some school board candidates were on. You can see up that on the YouTube page too. What else do we have? We got what, 3 minutes left? What else do we have for Dr. Rosemary Edwards? Because it is so great to have her here.
Yes, it is.
I think in the email I thought we got the smartest people in Texas coming on, and there's one of them anyway. Not personally, you understand. But
I think as a parting shot, I would just like to encourage everyone to study the issues, study the propositions, and vote. You can't complain if you don't vote. As the old saying goes.
TravisCountyGOP.org, or if you want to be nonpartisan, just go to TravisCountyClerk.org or TravisCounty.org, and you can pull up all your election stuff there too. In case you want to be a libertarian or a Democrat or something about it, you know. I know we often have all kinds of people tune in every now and then. So,
good.
and I will also say I did contact Andy Howard. I had several contacts with him. He wouldn't come on this year.
Andy Brown?
Andy Brown, the
Oh, it's an
Democrat
opportunity.
county, the same job for the Democrats. So, you know, it is like I did give him a chance.
Well,
Go
I'd
ahead,
like
Val.
to say one last thing.
Quickly, because I think Grant wants to get into his last 2-minute spiel here. 'cause he's
Even if
still
you
politicking.
think that there's no one to vote for, you don't like the candidates, go back and research them again. Because I assure you, there is someone to vote for. So if you take the time out and just do your research and make your vote count.
It's your duty. It's not a privilege or don't think of it that way. It's your duty. Get out there. Oh, go ahead, Grant.
The League of Women Voters have done some debates, and you might want to look at them. They also have a link to the surveys they've taken, and you can there's even a Vote 411, I believe, where you can find out what your ballot is. So there's some really great new things on the internet to help you make a decision.
There he is.
Which is really good.
Yeah, the League of Women Voters has this nice thing.
See all there.
Because many of the candidates filled out quite detailed questions, so there's some real decent content.
I think it was on this ballot book. If you go to their website, you put in your address, and it'll tell you what
Who your
district you're in and
representatives
all
are.
that,
Yeah.
for whichever ones. We got 1 minute. We will not be here next week, and the 5th is our last show before the election. It's open mic thing, so if anybody wants to come by and say anything from either party, really don't care. Just it's good to meet and get to know these people. Of course, by then, 60% of us will have already voted, so it won't really matter, I guess.
The
Maybe
last few left.
65 or 70, for all we know.
I would have.
I probably will too. But I really used to be a stickler for wait till election day, go to your local precinct, tuck your shirt in, you know.
I always vote on election day because I just think it's patriotic to do that and to honor
30 seconds.
to honor the people that have taken that whole long day they're there. So I like to vote on election day.
Tip for Rosemary Edwards, 20 seconds. Want to say anything?
I can't, I'll just be
Vol-
repeating myself.
Volunteer to be a poll watcher. And we won't be here next week. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you very much, Marilyn Jackson, too. Anyway,
You.
check us out at trailerparkstore.com. Bye-bye, folks. Bye-bye.